Yeah, this is fine. If you want something on in the background, this is fine.
She co-directed Shrek and Shark Tale. Now, animation vet Vicky Jenson is back with the Netflix original Spellbound.
Yes, this is a movie that you would think would be coming out in theaters, and it is not. It's only going to be on Netflix. I mean, given who stars in it and the pedigree of who all is involved with it, it seems like a big crowd-pleasing holiday movie. It is not. It's going to be on your Netflix streaming. So if you have young kids, and that's really who I think this is probably best for, is little kids, because it's very colorful and very lively. You might want to sit them in front of the TV while you're cooking and have them watch Spellbound.
Can't keep this secret much longer. Your kingdom needs a real ruler.
I know. Dad, put him down.
Rachel Zegler provides the voice of Princess Elion. It is her 15th birthday, and she is zooming back into the kingdom. And it's a fanciful, colorful place with wild bugs and creatures and flying things. And she seems like a spunky, independent young lady. But she is always kind of on edge because the kingdom is in disarray. And the ministers who help run things are trying to smooth things over, but it's increasingly difficult because for the past year, her parents have been monsters. They are literally monsters. They are under a spell. They are spellbound, and they are cursed, and they are stuck being these giant, galumphing, colorful, furry creatures who destroy everything in their paths, and they eat whoever comes in contact with their mouths. And like, they can't help it. They don't mean to. They are monsters. And so it's how she tries to fix them in this journey into the forest, where a couple of oracles who live in a cozy cottage, voiced by Lane and Tituss Burgess, who are roommates.
Shacking up.
I mean, clearly they are a couple. They don't spell that out, but like they
play pinochle with a pair of pixies, you know.
Right. They make garlic bread together just to be naughty. I mean, come on. So she has to go get help from them. And it's very familiar in a lot of ways. It feels like it's pieced together from a lot of different other stories we've seen from the very beginning. The animation looks like early DreamWorks animation. It looks like Shrek. It looks like Shark Tale. It's colorful. It's very vibrant. But as far as the character design and just the look of this whole land, it looks very familiar. And then, like, the songs aren't great, which is shocking because they are from Alan Menken.
Yeah, not his
the
best
legendary
work here.
8-time Oscar winner Alan Menken, you know, and maybe only one song along the way gives us anything resembling what he's known for in his greatest work, like The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Little Shop of Horrors. He's been around forever. There's one song where the John Lithgow character like realizes he likes to eat all kinds of crazy things, and there's a word play and there's a patter and a rhyming scheme there that's really fun. But other than that, this just feels very mediocre and forgettable.
Yeah, this feels pieced together from a lot of different other movies. Like, oh, that's out of Spirited Away, and that's from Beauty and the Beast, and that's from Frozen. You know,
Tangled.
Yeah, you know, like, so super familiar storytelling. The animation also, harkens back to stuff we've seen before. The songs flow right through you without making any kind of impact. There's a sense that somebody went to therapy. You know, there is this movie that's going on that is basically about being like a child in a household of chaos, where the people who are supposed to be taking care of you, you're taking care of them. And so, you know, they are robbing you of your childhood, and you're having to maintain this front for the rest of the world so that nobody knows what's going on at home is so crazy. I get that. And that's a potentially interesting avenue for a kid's animated movie to pursue. Although even that feels kind of tired, because in the last 5 to 10 years, we've had this wave of movies like Coco and Encanto, especially, where like familial trauma is the real villain, you know. And so like that even has been kind of approached in different ways by film. So this feels very by committee. I was reminded of, remember at the beginning of The Player, when you're hearing all those pitches and they're all like, oh, it's like Pretty Woman meets The Manchurian Candidate. Like, the pitch for this movie had to have been like, it's this meets this meets this meets this. And so none of it leaps out as being new and original. So yeah, I'm sure very little kids who have never seen other movies will find it colorful and delightful, and the parents can already buy them the toys because they're out in the world. But yeah, generally speaking, this just feels really kind of generic and been there, done that.
Yeah, you could definitely read this for a while until you realize what's really happening here. You could read this in a couple of different ways. You could read this as like it's a metaphor for being the child of alcoholics.
Sure.
As one myself, I recognize like having to be the grown up and having to like make everything nice and please people so that it doesn't get too out of hand. Like
Right.
I got that. Also, as I don't have this, but people whose parents have suffered from dementia, I can see will find some moments quite resonant in terms of the nature of memory and like the illusory quality of it and grasping toward things and how meaningful that can be to have something that they remember. Eventually, the voices of the king and queen are Javier Bardem and Nicole Kidman.
Right.
So it's not a Meet the Ricardos reunion.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
That was the first thing
I
I
was
thought
just
of.
thinking about like, oh, we haven't heard Nicole Kidman sing in a movie in a while, you know.
Right. Since Moulin Rouge, yeah. And so there are some adventurous things that are very pretty, some cool ideas here, but it feels very done before. But if you're staying up and you want something cozy to drink on the couch while you are hanging out with your kids watching this movie, Coffee Brothers is having an incredible Black Friday sale.
Ooh.
Through December 2nd. If you purchase $100, you get 25% off your order.
Nice.
From 50 to 100, you get 20% off. 50 and below, you get 15% off. Shipping is always free when you have an order of at least $50. They have always great gift sets, which might be a great choice for the coffee lover in your life. If you want to get a little smorgasbord of all that they do. We, of course, love the holiday blend here. We're enjoying that these days.
And now's the time to get it.
Now's the time to get it. So a great opportunity on Black Friday. As you're getting bombarded with emails for stuff that you don't need, here's a thing you need. Our code is breakfast15 down below. We'll have a link for you in the description of the video. So go check out our friends at Coffee Bros.
Buy from a company that isn't owned by billionaires.
Right. It's brothers in New York, Nick and Dan in New York. They just founded the company in 2019 and they're growing it all the time. So we love working with them. This is fine. If you want something on in the background, this is fine. But when you see what all the folks involved in, like Rachel Zegler can sing these songs. She's got tremendous range. And I wish that the material
Jenifer Lewis.
I wish that the material were worthy of her incredible vocal talents because I just feel like it's not really that great.
Yeah, I mean, I can't fault this movie for its, its literal execution is fine and competent, and a lot of talented people worked on this, but there's just not a single spark of originality or freshness or new ideas or new approaches, and that kind of sinks a movie, I think. Again, unless you are very young and are, you're seeing this before you see all the many movies that it's ripping off. So I'm going to say like a 5.8.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 5, like 5.2 maybe. Because like it's not bad, it's just fine.